There is a Southern revival awakening in our great nation. We are here to highlight the makers, creators, chefs, and communities revitalizing the traditions of Southern food, local cuisine, and craftsmanship. Welcome to the South in Your Mouth podcast.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's Kevin with 441 South.
Cameron with Southern Singe Hot Sauce.
And today we got our friend Dustin.
With number 7 knife and tool.
Number 7 knife and tool. So I was going to ask you if you were changing that up or we were going number 7 millworks or knife and tool.
Well, I think we're going to keep the knife stuff, number 7 knife and tool, and we still need to hammer out like what we're going to actually do for the cookers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think number 7's a good name. Though.
Yeah.
I do
Oh yeah. I think we want to stay with the same branding and same look of it.
Oh yeah.
Just maybe a little different verbiage for that side of things.
No doubt.
It's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
So today's episode, even though we got Dustin in here, today's episode is sponsored by Southern Singe Hot Sauce and 441 South Barbecue. So if y'all need to support us, there's your 2 avenues right there. Show us some love. So Dustin, I'd call this episode "Forging the Future" because you're kind of doing something a little different these days.
Yeah. Yeah, this week's my last week at my full-time job. I'm going to be taking the leap and venturing out on my own.
So awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. So you're venturing out. I know we haven't really talked about this with a lot of people, but I know your knife work and just your creativity in general is going to be your wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to try to break it up a little bit, do some knife work. We're going to do some fab work. Still going to do some contract engineering work, but that's going to be we'll call that the side hustle now.
There you go.
I love it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it. So Dustin, also you're getting into more of the culinary side of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of local guys that make like EDC stuff and the big choppers and all that, but nobody locally really makes any custom type culinary pieces. That's what I want to. I think I want to go down that road. I mean, I'm still going to keep making other stuff, but,
right?
I want to kind of specialize in something.
No doubt.
I think we're going to try the culinary road and see how it works out. Offer some different stuff. Some, kind of my take on a Japanese style blade.
Very cool.
Because I don't in any way want to copy anything. The Japanese guys have been doing it a long time, and they've almost perfected it. So I want to take that and put my twist and my look on it.
Oh, no doubt. And I don't think I've ever seen anything you do that looks like it's not
right
original.
Well, that's and that's the whole goal. That's what I've strived for since the beginning, is to make it look different.
Absolutely.
I want somebody to see my knife from across the room and know that's a number 7.
Like this one?
Yep, like that one. They all have what I like to think is a unique profile.
Yeah, I mean, I can look at a knife and tell if it's yours or not, unless somebody else has made it to make it look like yours.
There's a lot of guys, and a lot of guys making some fantastic knives in the custom knife world right now. But some of them they have difficulty standing out from the crowd, and that's a huge part of it to me.
Oh, no doubt. And I'm not saying that like the people that are copying. I mean, I know it's flattery, but at the end of the day, they still are pretty skillful. If they can copy something like you make, they're skillful. They could just take it, just bump it a little bit further, and make it their own.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. So, I mean, everybody somewhat does. If you see a blade shape you like, you take that, you put your handle on it, and make it your own. You know?
Right.
Make subtle changes on it, and can make it look completely different. So, but yeah, and
So not only do you like making knives, you also like cooking, and
I love cooking.
Yeah.
When I get the opportunity. Hopefully nowadays I'll have a lot more opportunity to get that done. I'm not working 3 different jobs, so.
And you like live fire cooking?
I do.
Just
wood. I just have a passion for that. I mean, I like smoking. I like doing it all. But the live fire thing really has my attention right now.
Oh yeah, a grate, some coals. Cast iron skillet, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just going out, I've got a fire pit in my front yard that's got some stone built up around it, and even if it's just taking a grate out there and throwing it on that and cooking something, it's just something about over an open fire.
Oh, everything tastes so much better.
So much better.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you just can't duplicate that sear you get on a steak with a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no doubt.
There's no other way to get that.
100%.
Have y'all ever done caveman style where you just throw it right on the coals?
I have.
yeah.
I've done some cowboy steaks, caveman steaks, where you just throw them in there. You got to scrape the coals off of them, but they are good.
They are.
Yeah.
They are definitely good.
Yeah.
So Cam hit me up Saturday when we were all stuck inside and said, "Hey man, have you seen this new show on Outdoor Channel? It's called Life of Fire, and it's by Pat Martin of Martin's Barbecue out of Nashville. Now he's got multiple locations now, but Pat is a West Tennessee whole hog guy. He's one of a very few people left that's doing whole hog every day, and he even says that that's just not the way to.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to make money that way, but I mean he's staying true to his roots.
Yeah.
But one thing I've noticed, and there's a consensus across all of the shows, because I sat down and binged, 4 or 5 of them at a time. Everybody's cooking over block pits and direct coals, and like his in his backyard was just an expanded metal grate like this with legs on it, and he cooked ribs about 15, 16 inches off the ground with Brian Furman from used to be Bees Crackling.
Yeah.
It's that was an interesting episode because he had this other guy on there who is a aeronautical engineer that's like into the Southern heritage, Southern
It
roots
was
of food.
really cool. Moonshine.
From
I have to check that
Africa.
out.
Yeah.
Like
That
his
sounds
family owns a moonshine distillery in South Carolina. He's originally from South Carolina. It was quite interesting.
That was great.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah.
They did hash and rice, and they did spare ribs.
Oh wow.
I thought that was pretty cool. They were talking about the rice, the mids.
Yeah, Midlands.
Midlands, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they call them the Midlands. So it's like the middle section between a long grain and a short grain
Yeah.
rice. Yeah,
It's like, it's usually just a scrap.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so they're packaging it up now and so, I mean, why not?
Probably get 3 times as much
Probably.
as Uncle Ben's does. But also, I mean, you're talking about rice that comes from South Carolina too. So
Carolina
it's-
Gold.
Yeah, Carolina Gold rice. Those scraps right there are going to be 10 times, but they're also going to be delicious.
Oh, yeah.
But one thing they did was they were cooking their hash, and when they were boiling, like they did it all. They used a head.
Really?
They cooked the hash out of the head
Huh.
and just boiled it down. Head, feet, and hocks, I think
Yep.
is what they used.
Wow.
All the scrap.
I thought it was cool how when they pulled the head out and they were pulling everything off of it and then just talking about the collagen from the ear of how when it folds in with that rice and it's just like a melting pot, like that glues it together.
Yeah.
It was
Because it's got that stickiness to
Yeah.
it. The collagen in the ears
Yeah.
will be real sticky.
And the feet too.
Yep.
And the feet
Yeah,
too.
I grew up eating pig's feet, so
But he took a little of the broth, the stock out of cooking those heads, and that's what he cooked the rice in. And all it was interesting.
bet that's good.
It was interesting, and I really liked hash, and I liked the style they did. Just it was simple. The head, picked all of it, ground it all, threw some onions in there, a little bit of vinegar. They cooked the head with some vinegar and salt, pepper, and all. It was funny how it got that red color, and they didn't hardly add anything that had red color to it. And
It was really cool.
but y'all check it out. It's good.
yeah, I have to check
Good
that
show.
out.
They did that, and they did some pork steaks on one episode, which was
Did
they
chicken
did
halves.
chicken halves. They did whole hog, West Tennessee whole hog with Zach from B Scott's and I'm sorry, yeah, B Scott's and his name's Zach Parker, and then the other guy that's right down the street from him, I can't think of his name. But both of them, they're in West Tennessee, and they're the only 2 left that do whole hog every day.
Yeah.
And they're burn barrels. They're burned.
Yeah.
They don't have a burn barrel. They have a burn pit. So they just have a square, a block square.
Yeah.
They just build a fire in the corner, and they just shovel the coals out of that.
Nice.
That's cool. And it was funny. They kind of talked trash about South Carolina style, North Carolina style whole hog and stuff like that. It was a good show.
Yeah.
But I knew that's right up your alley, and it's right up mine too. Like if I ever have the time, that's how we want to cook. That's why we built that cooker out there and all. It's just finding the time to go out there and do it. It's just
Well, yeah, my grandpa had growing up, he had a shed he had built. It started off just for a 4th of July cookout every year, but by the time we were done, after a few years of it, we'd have 2 or 3 cookouts a year, and he had built this big pavilion shed on the side of the creek, concrete block pit, double grate. And, by the time it was over, there'd be like 100 people to every cookout he'd have.
That's awesome.
Whole hogs. We'd do lamb. We'd done lamb a few times. I always had chicken. Just all kind of different stuff. It's like I grew up doing that kind of stuff, and it's just always stuck with me,
I love it.
Yeah.
I see that. I see that a lot of Texas-based barbecue spots and stuff are going. They're not doing whole hog. They're going to lamb shoulders and cooking those and pulling them and stuff like that. And that's becoming quite popular over there. There's an Egyptian barbecue guy over there.
Really?
Yeah. He does a lot of lamb. He doesn't do a lot of pork because of his religion and stuff like that. But he does a lot of lamb. He does lamb ribs versus pork ribs and stuff. And it's just interesting. Like, I love lamb. I love rack of lamb. I've talked about doing it again in here. It's just so expensive to, and let's just face it, we're in Canton, Georgia. Like, it's like y'all two would get it. Like, as soon as I post it, you'd be like, we'll be there.
We're on our way.
We'd be the only 3 eating it probably. Maybe a few more.
So I think we might be the only ones that ate that goat too.
That goat was good.
It was good.
But I do love the creativity, and I love being able to do that in a restaurant setting. I feel like, the past couple of days being at home, just reflecting on things. Hey, it's the new year. Hey, do we continue how we're going? What do we tweak? What do we change? I know it's frustrating for some people because I was watching another pitmaster talk about this, and he was like, we put stuff on the menus, and this is our Saturday special, or this is our Wednesday special. Then you get people coming in all the time. They're like, hey, I'm here for this. Well, that's on Saturdays, but I want it now. Like, at what point do you take whatever was a special on Saturday,
Throw it on the menu.
Throw it on the menu regularly? I mean, the thing is what I found with that is, if it's on the menu every day, like, how much do you really sell?
Right.
Like pork steaks. I would love to do pork steaks once a week.
Yeah.
I'd have to do them all day. Like keeping them as a special, I can sell 30 or 40 of them at a time versus 10 a day if I did them once a week. The only thing that's ever been consistently a special, Cuban and wings.
I was about to say the wings for sure.
Yeah.
And I could do wings every day. It's just having the space to cook them and keep them, hold them and everything. Wings just take time.
Yeah.
And all.
Well, and you have to be careful with the whole supply and demand thing,
That's right. That's right.
People want it because
It's special.
People want it because they can only get it certain times, right? You start feeling that every day, and
it's not. It takes the specialty out of it.
The desire is going to kind of go away for it.
I feel like the other side of it is, and one thing we've talked about is, if you shorten your week, like one thing is we started Wednesday through Saturday, and you kind of built that hype and demand up. Then you went from Wednesday through Saturday. We did Tuesday through Saturday, and I feel like, again, we're not inside the perimeter of Atlanta or anywhere near there. I feel like sometimes we're shooting ourselves in the foot sometimes. So that's why the specials. And, I get a lot of reviews, and people are like, I love your creativity, the fusion you put into it. I had one the other day. They were talking about the fusion of a smoked meatball sub.
That thing was so good.
Because nobody does that around here. Nobody makes a pork and beef meatball the way we did it. I made it gluten-free. I used leftover cornbread in it. Make the meatballs, put them in the smoker, smoke them till they're done, and then put them in a scratch-made marinara. I'm going to need to be edited in this one. Beep. At least Sam's not in here talking about it. But, the creativity of that, the pork belly banh mi's, pork belly cheesesteaks. I one thing is I love taking somebody's traditional meal from their part of the country and making it something of ours.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, brisket. Yeah, brisket's traditionally Kansas City or Texas. Beef is more prominent in the Midwest and West. and all and all. But I feel like our brisket is different because it's cooked over hickory wood. It's not post oak.
Oak, mesquite.
You're getting or mesquite. You're getting in the air. You get a drier air in Texas. You get, their traditional brisket was cooked over direct coals or cooked in a block pit. And they're cooked super hot. They had a firebox on one end, and it just flowed underneath, and all it looked like a chimney. It had just basically a chimney on the other side. They were cooking briskets in 4 or 5 hours. Versus the 12 to 14 that we do nowadays, and most barbecue restaurants do. The brisket was just different. Like they didn't wrap it. It was cooked different. It was a totally different animal than it is now. Just like nowadays, most restaurants in Georgia, I grew up eating hams. We've talked about this before. Every barbecue joint was whole hams, fresh hams. You put them on the pit, and you had to chop everything because a ham's not going to fall apart. Like it doesn't have the intermuscular marbling or the fat and the collagen in it that makes it break down like a shoulder does. So everything got chopped or run through a buffalo chopper or something like that. And that's what I grew up on. And I would love to serve it, but people around here, being that it's the melting pot, I think that being that it's melting pot is people are used to that pulled pork and used to it being stringy, which I love.
Yeah.
But I also love the fact of the whole hog, the ham, the belly meat, and the shoulder all together.
Yeah, it's just on another level. I love it.
Yeah.
You get that crispiness of the skin in there. It's just different. I love it.
Or even sliced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've done some loins before. I think I may have told you about this, Cam. When I was growing up, there was a place in Athens. It was called Springhouse Barbecue. There's a little hole in the wall place. The owner of it had one place in Athens over there. I think Sauce House is where it's at now. The Sauce House is where it was originally. They tore the building down and built that. But then he had one in Commerce. And I guess he got run up with some bad folks. They still don't know who killed him. He was murdered out behind the building late one night, shot and killed. No more Springhouse. But it was sliced pork. And it was not pork loins. It was tenderloins. And just something about it. Sauce. The richness of the sauce, and it wasn't a traditional like vinegar sauce like I was used to. It was a thicker sauce, but it had a real rich flavor, almost like a Kansas City. It wasn't too sweet. It was very rich, but everything was thinly sliced like on a meat slicer. But it was cooked tenderloins, and he sliced that shit up and piled it like a sandwich was just piled up tenderloin on there.
Yeah, it sounds like a Daytona Bike Week. Street vendors are a big thing with the food down there.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a place every year that sets up right there close to Boot Hill Saloon. It does the same thing. It's a thin sliced tenderloin, one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life. But the street vendor food's where it's at there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
It's just unreal.
I think I'm going to have to go back to smoking some pork loins and just smoke them the day ahead, slice them up on the meat slicer the next day, and just do a badass sliced pork sandwich.
Yeah.
Do them like Sam's favorite. Go ahead and wrap it in wax paper.
Yeah.
And just
make them
get
soggy.
soggy.
Oh, yeah.
Throw a couple pickle chips on there.
Yeah,
now,
we talked about
that. Would you
that.
create a special sauce for that, or just?
I would. I would probably do more of a reddish vinegar sauce, ketchup and vinegar.
I got a sauce to bring in if you want to try.
Like a ketchup vinegar, like a little thicker ketchup-based sauce or tomato-based sauce, but very tangy.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go with something like that.
Big chunks of black pepper in it.
Yeah. I think I'd even put onion in it.
Yeah,
Like caramelize
100%.
some onion down, grind that up real fine, caramelize it down in there.
Yeah.
Kind of like, not that I would copy because we just talked about that, kind of like the OG Williamson Brothers sauce.
Yes.
Do y'all remember that?
Yes.
It had onion in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was something spectacular about that sauce.
Yeah.
And it's so different.
Well, dang, Kevin, now you're going to let me down if you don't make that in the next
Oh, I'm going to make it in the next couple of weeks.
That sounds
I got to
good.
get Charlotte to bring me some loins.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
So other than food, Dustin, what are you into?
Really, man, just spend a lot of time with my family and, making knives, just creating cool stuff. It's just what I like doing. Having an engineering background, it's just what I really enjoy doing is designing something and getting to build it.
I totally
I
agree.
mean, it's just one of my favorite things. And up until now, knife making has really just been a hobby. It's been a profitable hobby, but that's what I was telling Ashley the other day. Now I'm gonna have to find another hobby.
Well, you do play a little bit of golf.
I do play some golf.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get to take that back up again. I hadn't played that much this year, but my old age, that's getting rough on the body.
You ain't even 40 yet.
I'm 45. What you talking about?
Oh, man. No, but that is one cool thing, though. I mean, I love the creativity, the engineering side of things. Like, you and I are always sending videos or pictures of stuff we see and, like, check this out, check that out. Like, some of these live fire tables, Santa Maria grills, stuff like that. Like, they're just super cool. Like, a live fire griddle, I can see that being something. And I mean, I know people do it. I know they take a plancha and just throw it in there. But having something like that is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I like, and I like the thoughts of having some of them we look at have two-sided, two different on the Santa Marias and have like a plancha or an insert that goes on this side. You can have two different things going on at one time, It's just versatility. I think that's the key to it.
Somebody posted on Facebook in some Facebook group, and it was trying to remember what they were looking for. They were looking for something, and they built a smoker, and it was a reverse flow, but it looked very steampunkish.
Very cool.
And everything was riveted together. It was out of a tank. But they had a damn old Otis flyball elevator governor sitting on top of it and a bunch of gears and stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know what you got up there. And why in the world would you put an extra 500 pounds on top of that thing like that? But it was on wagon wheels.
Huh.
And I got to find it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I got to find it again, although I deleted social media. I'm on this hiatus. I'm trying for the new year. At church, they're doing a series, and everybody's on a 21-day fast. So you can focus more on God, focus more on your family. Clear your mind, clear your body, clear your mind. I ain't gonna lie. Today was the first day, and I was supposed to fast till 3 o'clock. I made it to 2:30. Like it was all I could do. Like I was getting hangry. I was getting a headache, and all. So yeah. And a lot of people are fasting for 21 days, like a pure liquid diet. I don't know if I could do that.
No.
I don't think I can.
I've made it to 48 hours before, but after the 48-hour mark,
was your mental state
it's
very clear?
Oh yeah. You think very clear. It's hard to explain the thoughts you have, but I mean, as far as mental clarity, it's definitely there. It's definitely there, but the hunger does not go away from me.
No.
It's that. Which I like eating. I mean, anybody that looks at me can tell I like eating. And it was tough. The physical hunger actually goes away after 24 hours with me.
Yeah.
But then the mental part kicks in, and
Right.
that's what gets me every time I try it.
It's kind of like, I know we've watched videos on it. We've watched movies where it's kind of like Indians. Like they go have, what is it called, a sweat, or they go and sit in a teepee for days on end, and that's basically what they're doing. They're meditating, they're clearing their mind, they're clearing their body, and like you said, the thoughts you're going to have out of that is the thoughts that they're having, and something to be said about those thoughts of, hey, is that your future? Hey, is that
Yeah.
And I will say, like, I was preparing for it all weekend. I was kind of watching what I ate and stuff like that. Yeah. And, this morning I woke up, I downloaded this app. And I know y'all tune in for food, but we all talk about this stuff outside of here. But I downloaded this app. It's called Dwell. And it's a daily meditation, devotional type app. Okay. So it was really good. Yeah. And, it's about 15 minutes of, controlling your breathing, and then it goes into a message and all, but it's really good. Oh, wow. Like the deep breathing and all that other stuff, really does help clear your mind, and it helps get you in a state of mind to be able to take on the day a little different.
I'm finding out lately that the breathing thing is a key to that calmness. I mean, physically and mentally, I think all this breath work everybody's talking about now is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So,
And we're not talking like Bill Cosby on the Cosby Show telling y'all how to give birth to a baby.
yeah,
type
no.
thing. Well, I really do think that has a lot to do with ain't none of us getting any younger.
Yeah.
Cam, I think you're the oldest one of the group. But it's one of those things where it's just like we're not getting any younger. Like whatever we can do to help each other out to where we can eat this good food that we always talk about.
Absolutely.
Like it's not always got to be good food.
Yeah. But yeah, if you can fast in this environment, more power to you.
I don't know.
I will.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If y'all see me in here eating something, y'all knock it out of my hands. I ain't gonna lie. Today was rough.
Yeah.
It was day number 1 though, so we'll see. I'm not doing a complete fast mine's just fasting a 16-hour fast.
Okay.
So from midnight till 3 p.m.
Okay. What about the social media? Is that a 20?
So-
you're trying 21 days on that?
I'm trying more than I'm gonna try and see what it's like.
Okay.
And one thing I've done, and if somebody says, "Hey, I run a business, I can't do that," yeah, you can. Meta's got an app, and you can post directly from that to Facebook and Instagram and all. Or you can do like I've done and just go on long enough to post whatever you need to post and get back off. Don't go down.
Scrolling.
I try to do that anyway,
Right.
because I find myself going down that rabbit hole. I say I'm just going to look at this one thing, and then an hour later, I'm still sitting there looking at it.
I just don't think there's anything. I mean, now I say social media, break from social media. Like one thing I do watch is I watch a lot of podcasts on YouTube. I watch a lot of informational videos on YouTube. I don't consider that social media though. Like,
No, I think if you're doing something to better yourself,
Like an
to get
educational
smarter,
purpose.
anything educational, I don't consider that
right. That's kind
in the
of
same ballpark.
And with my vision impairment, reading a book is kind of out for me. So I listen to a lot of audiobooks. So really, when I'm watching something on YouTube, I'm really not watching it. I may watch a little bit of it, but I have to have it like right here. But I'm usually just listening to it. And one of those things is I'm meditating every morning, and I'm reading a chapter or listening to a chapter in a book every day. I'm going to try to read a book a week. And so right now I'm reading From Good to Great, from John Collins, I think is the name. But what takes you from being a good company to a great company, food, whatever you're doing, good knives to great knives. Like, how do you grow a business? How do you grow a business? What makes leaders? What makes a great corporation? Those leaders get to that point. What are they giving up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been trying to read more lately too. I'm in Jocko's book right now, that Extreme Ownership.
Oh, that is an excellent
It's
book.
pretty good. It's pretty good. And I got somebody just recommended a business book to me. I think it's called The Goal.
Okay.
I just ordered that. It's supposed to be a fantastic.
Nice.
Check
You
it
know.
out. I think my next book is I just downloaded. It's called Traction. And all. It's a book about how to get your business back on track, building traction with your business. If you've gotten comfortable, how to get out of your comfort zone and get your business back rolling in the way you want it to go. And all. And the other thing is I'm hoping that it goes longer than 21 days. I hope it goes longer than 1 day. But I'm hoping that it changes my focus to where I quit focusing on what's around me and just what I got going on here. Because I feel like, and one of the things about the series we're in is not being all religious on y'all, but like you can fight it all you want. Like you can fight being successful all you want. You can fight and just put in more hours than you've ever done to be successful. But if you don't have, if you're not building, if you're not putting that kind of fight into your relationship with your family and with God first, like all the hard work you're doing around here is going to go to the wayside. It really is. Like,
What's it for?
yeah, you're never going to be successful.
Yeah.
You're never going to grow. Your business isn't going to grow. Your family isn't going to grow. You're not going to grow as a human. So I'm still learning all this. I suck at it still. So, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So if anybody that goes to church with me watches this, I'm not saying I got it all figured out because I'm far from that. And I just,
No, I agree. I mean, God and family come first.
oh, no doubt.
It doesn't matter how successful you are in business if if you're not healthy in those other two, it's not going to do you much good to make all the money you want.
Well, Maggie even said it. She said when we opened in 2016 or 27, we opened here in 2018. So she said when we started here in 2018, when we opened the doors to the restaurant, she said our whole family was in a different mindset than we are nowadays. Mm-hmm. And I think it's mostly due to social media influences, government influences into what's going on in the world these days. And then COVID, I think 100% changed our mindset towards life. And it's such a waste. It was a waste of human life that lost. Mm-hmm. It was a waste of a lot of things. And I don't know. I'm trying to focus back on that. So cool. So thank you for tuning in to our TED Talk. But anyway, so Dustin, I'm excited, and I know that we were talking about having some drawings and stuff like that, and we've got some cool stuff coming that you and I have been working on for a couple of years now. Yeah. Some direct heat cookers, some other things that we're working on. Yeah. Like, I'm excited. Like, him and I sit down, and I'm like, hey, man, what do you think about a carbon steel skillet? Like, I'm all about, like, let's make some cool. Hammered out, handmade, $1,000
$2,000.
Yeah. You know, stuff like that. But like that's kind of what we're
yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, we like we were talking last week. We want to start off with some type of a cooker, right? You know, I think we've pretty well nailed that down. And we'll have some drawings to share with everybody, some renderings, you know, sometime soon, and then start going for your pans and all of our accessories that are going to go with it. You know, but my main goal is to nail the look we're after. Right. You know, it's the same deal that I try with my knives. I want you to know that's our cooker. Yeah. When you're scrolling through any kind of social media and you see it, you know that come out of Canton, Georgia. You know, I don't know. I mean, I know the look we're going for. It's not steampunk. I'm gonna call it a medieval look. I think it's kind of.
I totally get that. Yeah.
You know, having a kind of a medieval look to it's what we want to go after. You know, something that just looks different with some more modern features. You know, internal.
Yeah. I totally get it. So, yeah, that's exactly. We want it to be traditional cooking, but some modern ease of use touches to it.
Yep, for sure.
Where you're not staying up all night, or you're not having to babysit a fire, which a lot of people love that. I love that, but a lot of times people don't have the time for that these days.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's some of my favorite times I've had is doing those whole hogs overnight.
Oh yeah,
you know,
100%.
Just and it's just fun.
So if y'all want to know when we do events and stuff, these are my whole hog cookers right here. like we have cooked several, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun to do whole hogs. It's just something different about it. Something different about whole hog. I had a buddy of mine, Russ Tanner, out in Watkinsville. He did a whole half cow in a 1,000-gallon offset for 4th of July. Oh wow! Yeah. It was all chopped. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, I would love to one day try that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, I know there's some people on YouTube that have done it, like Guga's done it and stuff like that. But that would be fun. That would be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Dustin, when you're not eating here, what's your go-to meal?
When I'm not like at another restaurant, or if I'm at home eating?
Either one.
It's going to be a steak of any kind. I mean, I'm just a steak guy. You know, anywhere that's got a bone-in ribeye or a tomahawk, that's what I'm getting.
Hell yeah.
You know? And if I'm cooking at home, that's usually what I'm cooking. You know, trying to be a little more budget-minded lately. I found chuck eye steak. You know,
so good.
It's actually, I mean, it really is. Yeah. You know, at $10 or $11 a pound, it's just the best cut of meat you'll find for the money.
So the poor man's ribeye, but I think it eats even better.
I really do. I think the way the fat renders out in it, some of them I've had I almost think are better than the way a ribeye renders down.
What is it? The Delmonico's right in there too, isn't it? Yeah. Because I used to have a guy that used to bring me Delmonico's all the time, but. And I think Downtown Kitchen sells a Delmonico every once in a while.
I think they do, yeah.
Or maybe that is a chuck eye steak, just a fancy name for it or something. Somewhere right around there. But no, the chuck eye is by far one of my favorite steaks.
Yeah, I mean, it really is for the money. I mean, it's generally half the price of what you're going to get for a ribeye.
Oh, no doubt.
That's why a lot of restaurants use the chuck roast instead of a prime rib.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And then, like those filet tails that I was getting in, tenderloin tails or whatever, fingers, those things. I mean, it's eating a filet.
Yeah.
You know, it's $7 a pound.
You still getting those?
I hadn't in a while. I need to get some and get them in. And they sell good and all. But I think people, when they come to a barbecue joint, they want that fatty. Like, I know a lot of people like New York strips. They just don't sell that great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people want a ribeye. They want a ribeye or a pork steak. Or at least that's what I want to serve them. And that's what the other side of what I've been talking about is what I want to serve people.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Well, I think overall in general the low fat diet is dying off.
Yes.
I think people are realizing that the fat in it is not as bad for you as it's always been said.
100%.
So, you know, ribeyes are making a comeback for sure.
oh, no
I
doubt.
see a lot more people wanting that cut than a filet now. So,
Man, a good ribeye over open flame. Golly, so good. I could eat that breakfast. I can't eat it 3 times a day. My stomach would revolt. But
yeah, that's probably my favorite meal that I fix is a tomahawk. Throw it on the Kamado, smoke it up to about 110, 115. But I use tallow as my binder.
yeah,
And then, I mean, you got to watch out. You will burn your face off over an open fire. The tallow is highly flammable. It's like gasoline on an open fire. But throw that thing over the campfire and sear it on off and get that singe on it. Man, that's just
That's it.
that's
I
some
used
compound butter to put on it. I mean, it's just unreal.
I got to go back and find. I got a bunch of pictures when I used to, before I started doing all this, when I was just cooking at home. I would take and I would have my phone set up, recording, and I would cook steaks like a tomahawk. But I would take Lodge has these round griddle skillets. They got a little bit of a lip. I'd pour bacon grease in that thing, and then I would reverse sear them. I'd get that thing scalding ass hot with that bacon grease, and I'd just reach over and throw that ribeye down on it, and it'd flame up and throw grease 30 foot out and all that other stuff. But it would just, it was cool as shit. I gotta find the pictures of it. I'll send them to y'all. But like, golly, it was so fun. Like, it was all about the shot. Like, it never mattered. I didn't, like, it was like the steak was gonna be great, but like,
It's all about the special effects.
that's right. That's right. Nowadays, you just don't see. I mean, a lot of people shoot videos, but they don't do the crazy stuff anymore. I mean,
We should bring it back.
Yeah.
like
all about it.
like deep frying on a big green egg. Like, whoever thought that was a good idea. No, you can deep fry over open flames. Just be careful.
Yeah.
You know, don't get too crazy. You know. But that's some of the. I mean, we got to plan a trip. I know you and I have been talking about it. Like, just go up, find us a spot next to a river or a creek, and just cook some bad food, badass food, not bad food. You know,
All about it.
yeah. Like, I watch Brad Leon. Like, he's super cool about some of the stuff he cooks. Like, he was growing olives, and he was putting them on skewers, and they were little bitty olives, and he was cooking them over a grill and stuff. You know, it looked really good. It probably was good because it didn't have the brininess.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. But he's always going somewhere. He's got his Gosney pizza oven in the back of his truck and just sets it up and goes at it.
Supposed to be doing some quail hunting this weekend.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get something good cooked up with that.
Where y'all going?
South Georgia.
Oh, nice.
Me and my dad and my uncle.
That'll be fun.
Sure, we'll find something.
How do you like to do quail?
So the last, was it the quail? The last I did, I just braised it off. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
And then I had some pheasant also, and I turned that into a purlieu, which is like rice based, and it was just super good.
Yeah. I like it. I like game bird. I think
I do too.
It's just amazing.
favorite.
Grouse, pheasant, any of it is
Dove,
just
all of it, yeah.
amazing. Dove,
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw this somebody confying duck the other day. Duck leg quarters.
Yep.
And then there's that place down off the north side. Is it Local 3?
Yes.
They used to have a duck confit quesadilla.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. But they had some really crazy stuff back in the day. I don't know if they still do all that stuff.
There's a menu I'll send you. There's a restaurant in Auburn, Alabama. They're doing a pop-up. I think it's next week. But the restaurant's called The Hound, and it's just like really good American-style food. But the pop-up is, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically a noodle house coming in. And they're doing duck confit ramen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, one of the better meals I've ever had was duck. It was in I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but it was in Kalispell, Montana, and they were duck medallions, and they used a huckleberry reduction sauce over the top of it, and it was amazing. I mean, like it was just unreal.
There's a sauce I've been working on in my head and taking notes because we love duck also. And Brittany was like, "You should do some duck breast soon." And I'm like, "All right," but I'm not like I've got this blueberry sauce in my head. I'm like working on.
Yeah.
But yeah, a sauce like that on
Yeah,
duck
it was
is
just
so
amazing.
good.
But didn't they call them huckleberries out there? But isn't it the same as a blackberry? Or is that a completely different? Is it a different?
From what I know, it's a different.
Because it looked kind of like a blackberry, but I wasn't sure. It's good though.
I don't know. I think it's something. Yeah, I don't think it is a blackberry, or maybe it.
I don't know.
Mm.
I have no idea. But it was good. whatever
So
it
a
was.
blueberry sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like glaze almost.
Okay.
I know
Sweet.
it went good with that.
Sweet and heat.
Okay.
Maybe some serrano or
Yeah, that one had some
bird's
heat.
eye
That one
chili
had
or
some kind of
something.
heat.
I really like duck. I like it more of an Asian style with like a hoisin or maybe a chili crisp on it or something like that. It's really good too.
Mm.
And all, but I'd be down to try anything once. I don't think I've turned away much food. Not that picky. But so Dustin, this is it. This is your last week, and then you're full in. So if y'all got orders you want knives, you want cookers, you want a bed frame, you want
We are a full fab service.
that's right. You name it, you need a jail cell built at your house,
Whatever.
He's got you.
we got you.
Yeah,
So
I'm working. I'm trying to get the knife website finished up. That's
that's number one priority.
yeah. It's been a bit of a challenge trying to keep up with orders and do that. And I don't really want to pay anybody to do it. I can
I
do
get
it
it.
myself. It's just time consuming.
Yeah.
So when I have a little more time on my hands, I'll be able to finish a lot of these projects I've started off. But yeah, I'm hoping to have a really cool website where you can go in there and do custom orders or buy what I have available if anything's available.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but yeah, I've just got to. It's a lot of development right now. We talked a little bit about some, like doing a 5-inch petty knife and an 8-inch chef's knife, Japanese style. My take on Japanese style, but I'm working on the packaging for it, just different things like that. It's just a lot of different things to put together. Tough to do it in a hurry when it's part time.
Well, that and I think you and I both talk about this like all the time. Like you don't want to be in a hurry for it. You want to sell something though, but you want it to be perfect,
Right.
And I know I know how you are. You'll crack something and you'll make something else out of it.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've never. Yeah, I don't make mistakes. I make smaller knives.
That's right.
That's
exactly right.
I mean, that's all it is. It's now I've trashed a couple, but I want this kind of stuff, things like this, especially when I'm working on packaging for stuff. I want it to be perfect out of the gate. I just sometimes try to be too much of a perfectionist when it comes to something like that. But I think presentation goes a long way.
It really does.
I think you're right though. But also at the end of the day, your name's on it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I want every part of that experience when they open that box to be a good memory.
That's right.
I mean, like my knives. I mean, it's weird because I don't strive for perfection the way they look, but I want perfection in the performance of it. Right. But at the same time, when you pull it out, I want you to feel like you've just opened up your grandpa's knife from 100 years ago.
That's cool.
I like that. I like having that vintage feel to it. But you've got the modern day heat treat. I mean, I'm still using, like, most of the steel I use is steel that's been around a very long time.
Right.
It's just tried and true. You know, high carbon steel, yeah, it's going to rust, but if you take right care of it, it will not.
That's right.
You know, but yeah, I mean, you've got modern heat treat techniques that are superior to what they used to use, but I still like having that old feel to a knife. So,
Any plans on like refurbishing old knives? I know you've done one for me.
yeah, I do enjoy doing that. It really depends on what it is. You know, I've had some people bring me some pretty wonky stuff, you know, some Chinese made stuff, trying to get me to put handles on it, things like that. I'm just not interested in that.
Oh, no doubt.
But like what I done for you, like that cleaver I done for your dad, very, very cool vintage cleaver.
Oh, it was.
That we got to put a handle on, and it was very cool.
That was a badass cleaver.
Yeah, it was so cool. I was very happy with the way that turned out.
Hell yeah.
And it was so different because the tang on it was different. It
Really?
was-
Yeah, it was challenging, but yeah, it was. What was it? It was. It ended up. It was a tapered tang, and I had to actually.
Yeah.
It actually had a little bit of a warp to it, and we had to taper it to make everything, and we had to regrind it without grinding into the patina on the blade. It was just there was a lot of challenges there, but it turned out very good.
Very cool.
Like I've seen some places that take like old Henry, like they're not like butcher knives, but they're more that I guess it is a butcher knife. It'll be like a 10-inch
Yeah.
with that big fat end on it, and they'll do like G10 handles on it,
Yep.
and maybe Cerakoted or something like
Yeah.
that. It looks
Yeah.
cool.
No, I don't mind doing stuff like that, and I especially want to get into that with some axes and things
Yeah.
like that. Take some cool
That'd be cool.
old axes and kind of put my twist on them, put a cool handle in them. I've actually already got a couple that I'm going to do. You know, I mean, some people, the purists will hate me for it, but, you know, kind of like the guys when I built that 1911, the 1911 purists.
Oh, yeah.
They hammered on me on that. But, you know, you take a cool old vintage axe and start grinding on it, people don't tend to be friendly about that when they.
You know, there's a lot of forestry guys that take those old axes and they repolish them. They
But-
still use them every day.
But you know, I get a lot of love from it too. You know,
Yeah.
modifying something like that. So, yeah, I like vintage stuff, and I like to put my twist on it sometimes. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Well, that's super cool. Well, guys, y'all make sure to hit up Dustin and have him make everything for you. One of everything. One of everything. So
yeah, and we got more stuff. You know, more cool stuff coming.
We
We're gonna
do.
have some pretty amazing products to show you guys soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, and I can't wait. And as soon as we get it out, we'll share it on our Facebook page and Instagram and all. But y'all stay tuned for that. Dustin, appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, man,
Cam,
I appreciate the invite.
it's always awesome.
Always awesome.
We got some cool stuff coming up next week, hopefully. Waiting on some callbacks
Yep.
and stuff. But we're looking forward to 2025 and all. So, guys, thank y'all again. We'll talk to y'all soon.
See ya.
So yeah.